Okay, I will now show the demonstrations for how to get the information you need from this lab in order to carry out your unit conversions. So the first one, they're asking what is the rate of speed in miles per hour, make sure you know the units you need to go to, that a marble or any ball will attain after falling through an inclined tube. So it doesn't have to be a tube, it could be any inclined surface. So what I'm going to do is what I could come up with at my home is just take a box, a tall box, and I'm going to roll the marble down it. So what I need to do, it's good if you have a partner to help you. I'm going to time this myself. I'm just going to use my phone and the stopwatch on the phone. And I'm going to set up my inclined plane first. I'll set the ball on it, and when I let go of it, I'm going to hit start, and I'll hit stop as soon as it gets to the end of the inclined plane. So, here I go. Start, stop. So that was 1.16 seconds, very quick. If you get a longer incline, if you happen to have a slide in your backyard, that would be great. If you have a big piece of wood from working on the house or some kind of larger incline, the longer the better, because then you can eliminate some human error. So there's some reflex involved where you hit start when it starts moving and stop when the ball reaches the bottom, and everybody has different reflex times. So the longer the object that you roll it down, the less the human error will interfere with that. So the next thing I need to know is how long my inclined plane was in feet. So I'm going to measure it. This is the box I used. So I'm just going to take my measuring tape, or you can use your ruler, either way. And I'm going to find that it was about 41.5 inches. Which I can convert to feet or miles. What they're asking for is miles per hour. So eventually what you're going to do is convert seconds to hours. How many seconds are there in an hour? You can think back, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. 360 seconds are in an hour. You can convert inches to feet and then to miles, and that will give you your rate in terms of miles per hour. So in the next video we'll be doing calculations, and I'll show you how I do this. But that is the information you need for the first question. You need the time, and you need the length of the box, or whatever inclined plane you use. Now the next one is how long in minutes will it take for a 500-gallon reservoir tank to be emptied by your kitchen sink. So this is the container I'm going to use. You can feel free to use anything. If you have a 5-gallon bucket, that will probably make this problem very easy. Time, how long it takes for your sink on full force to fill the 5-gallon bucket. And you can time that in terms of minutes. So then you'll be able to determine how many minutes it would take for 500 gallons to be dispensed by your sink. Now this measures in cups or in liters. Because I love converting so much, I'm going to use liters. So I'm going to fill it up to 1 liter, and I'm going to time how long that takes. And for my example, I will show you how to convert liters to gallons to solve the problem. So I'm just going to go over to my sink and fill it up. And I'm going to bring my stopwatch with me. So I have this sink on full force here, and as soon as the water starts entering, I will hit start. And again, I want to get down to eye level to see when it reaches the 1 liter. I'm going to hit stop as soon as it does. Okay, so I don't need to save that water for any reason, but I need the time. So it was 1 liter, and it took 12.32 seconds. So I'm going to write that down. My rate is 1 liter in 12.32 seconds. So eventually you'll be wanting to convert seconds to minutes and liters to gallons, and we'll be doing a calculation to determine how long it would take to fill 500 gallons using the rate of flow from my sink. And the last problem, to get the information that you need, the question is, how long will it take in hours? So I'm circling all the units on my page. I suggest as you read, you can do that sort of thing so you know where you're headed. How many hours would it take to walk to Ogdensburg? The distance is 19.5 miles. So you don't have to watch me struggle with my measuring tape. I measured before I turned the camera on how far it is from this end of the counter to my kitchen sink. It's 10 feet. So I'm going to time how long it takes me to walk that distance using my stopwatch. So I'm going to note down the distance that I'll be walking is 10 feet. And eventually I'm going to convert feet to miles so that I can extrapolate how long it would take me at my walking pace to get to Ogdensburg. So they want to know in terms of hours. I'm going to time it in seconds and then convert to hours and then figure out how long it would take to walk that certain distance. So here I go. I'm starting with my feet in line with the end of the counter, and I have to move so I don't hit the table. So here I go. I'm going to walk 10 feet. And hit pause. Stop on your stopwatch as soon as you make it that far. So it took me 4.75 seconds. So I have a rate of 10 feet for every 4.75 seconds. We'll talk more about calculations in the next video. I'm going to show you an example of how to solve these three problems using the data that I attained. And then when you submit your data sheet, I hope to see your own measurements. I also hope to see pictures and videos of the tools that you chose to use for your experiments. Everyone will do it differently, and I enjoy seeing that. So I'll be back with calculations.